Hey everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a tiny living speed build. So I've been playing with tiny living for a little bit now and I actually really do like it. It's very, in my opinion, pretty good stuff pack. I know I did kind of a video where I reviewed it and kind of built a tiny home there, but I've been playing with tiny living a little bit. And I'm gonna say, as far as like stuff packs, it's really good. Stuff packs for me, I feel like are always kind of very hit or miss, and I think it really depends how invested you are, I guess. And to be honest, like I'm not super invested in tiny living. As you guys know, I like to build very big, lavish Victorian homes, like the 19th century. That is my jam. I just do not like, you know, small everyday homes. And I was thinking of what I could do that kind of was both a tiny home but also like very 19th century, very Victorian. And I decided I wanted to do a gatehouse. Before I go any further though, I have to acknowledge that I noticed also Harry, another YouTube channel, another YouTuber. She does lots of great videos. I check out her stuff whenever I'm feeling kind of jammed, because she does she's like me where she has a very big interest in the 19th century, Victorian era kind of stuff. So I sometimes will peek over on her channel just to see some things she's doing. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But yeah, I went to go, after I worked on this, I went and saw that she also did one, so I do apologize. Because hers, I will say, I think hers is beautiful. I think she really made such a beautiful home, and also she uses a lot of custom content, build custom content, which I think often with how The Sims works, The Sims 4 specifically, sometimes you really do need to consider custom build content when it comes to building kind of 19th century and Victorian homes. I still don't use it, just as kind of a personal preference. However, every time I watch one of her videos, I'm like, why don't I use custom content? But here we are, like I said, building my own kind of gatehouse. And I noticed her and I also did very similar shapes. I don't know if we were just looking at the same images on Google, because pretty much I was basing this off of one build I did see. However, I was kind of mixing and matching. Generally when I build, also I don't try to build directly a replica of what I'm seeing. I try to mix it up, make something new. But I do think her and I were using the same Google reference. So I do feel bad. But go check out hers. Like I said, hers is amazing. What she can do, she's just such a great YouTuber, and I love her stuff. And if you like what I'm doing, you should definitely be checking out what she's doing. She's just so talented, and she also has such an eye for good custom content. When I first started playing The Sims 4, I did have some build CC, but part of the reason I don't use custom CC is because I feel I always found really ugly stuff, and I was like, yeah, this is what I want. So, good for her. She has an eye for good CC. She isn't trash like me. But you'll see here, I'm just kind of, playing around. I've been using a lot of the windows and items that we got from Discover University when it comes to building some 19th century kind of inspired homes. And just because there is such a 19th century feel to it. However, I think I'm gonna try to use it a little bit less, just because some of the windows we got from Discover University, as much as I love them, they're just so big, and for these kind of tiny homes, they don't really fit. But my idea was, because this was a gatehouse and was supposed to be, elegant and fancy and whatnot, it just kind of felt like it made sense. So that's where I was at with kind of the windows I was using, my inspirations. this ends up being really kind of a home only for one sim. I do have a double bed in there, but I think I have a double bed. I either have a double or a single. But even if it is a double, it really is only meant for one sim. I kind of put in some pet stuff. So maybe you could have like a cat or something. My idea when I was making this is I was thinking whoever lives here probably they're, you know, maybe they're single, maybe they're just interested in sustainability, maybe they're just like young and just looking for their first home for on their own. And then my idea also is there may have been a older palace behind this, which has maybe since been, you know, dismantled, or the land has been cut up. Because in this part of Windenburg, which is where I'm building, this is where the Shrieking Llama used to be. I moved the Shrieking Llama, however, to a different spot, so I could build this. And my idea was I have a bunch of like different bigger homes in my save file. In my save file, I have a lot of bigger kind of 19th century and earlier homes, a lot of kind of Victorian 19th century, as well as some Gregorian kind of style homes. Georgian, not Gregorian. Georgian, sorry. Gregorian is medieval. But yeah, some kind of like Georgian style homes. But yeah, so that was kind of my goal here, was just to make a nice little cute home. You know, maybe sustainable, maybe, you know, the idea of a sustainability or something. I wanted it to still be elegant because, you know, at one point it probably would have led up to a bigger, more fancier home. Yeah, that was really just like what I was thinking about. I kind of was playing around with some other things. This like path here that I have goes, like, you'll see there's still like remnants of the old path that I do, and mostly once again just to add to it. You see here, to kind of make the gate, I use this object arch that we got with Get Famous. I use that a lot. I've been using it a lot, especially in some like bigger church builds and whatnot. But you know, it's not what to say. I don't know, I really do like that item. I am a little sad that it doesn't like it doesn't become an arch on its own, but I'm also glad that it doesn't, because then you can do more builds like this. You'll see I'll swap out a lot of these windows for windows from vampires, just because I felt like I needed just something a little smaller for the upstairs windows. Because I was thinking, you know, downstairs can have bigger windows because they probably don't need as much privacy. These little like blocky things that I'm using, I got those from Debug. I believe they're base game. I played a lot with where to properly put the arches and was struggling a lot, which is part of the reasons I wish they snapped better or whatever. And I was trying to make it so very little of it was clipping, so that'd be easier to cover. That's like another thing I do hate about this arch is to get it to work the way you want, there's just like a lot of fidgeting, going back and forth. But you know, I think I do really like it. I'm so glad we got it. It's once again just one of the things where I'm like, I understand why it's like the way it is, and this is not what its original intention was. When the Sims team gave us this, they probably were like, oh yeah, you can just use it for like movie sets or whatever. And like, there's some of us like me and some other simmers, because I'm not the only one who does this, who are like, ooh no, I'm gonna use it in build mode and use it in my homes. And I just feel like the Sims team's like, okay, you do you. But anyways, I am pretty happy with how this build came out, especially for a tiny home. It's a little expensive. I've noticed that a lot of my tiny homes is that they're not affordable for a home that's supposed to be, I guess, interested in issues of like what's the word I'm looking for? Sustainability and whatnot. yeah, I am apparently not interested in making it affordable. But to be fair, a lot of sustainable living things you can do, like, generally isn't super accessible to the whole public, so I don't feel too bad. I do plan on trying to make a few more tiny homes that are affordable, and the reason for that just being I want people to be able to use them and want to play with them. As you see here, I'm working on the kitchen. I really want there to be some counter space, which I know it's hard in a build like this, because the whole point it's tiny living. Space is just not super affordable, and for a tiny home I still have like a fully functioning bathroom, living room, and like dining room, kitchen area kind of thing, which that's another reason. So as much as I love tiny living as a stuff pack and I like making tiny like homes, I've noticed I don't want to respect it in the sense of making it super like affordable or super like, you know, most tiny homes there'll be spaces that like occupy multiple occupations. If I'm working, like, if that makes sense the way I'm wording it, like you'll have your living room be like the drawing room and the dining room, like, or you'll have kind of like a modern kind of open floor plan where things like aren't necessarily stuck to a rigid, like, this room is used for X, Y, and Z. Whenever I build tiny homes, I'm still like, so I need my designated living room, bedroom, bathroom. Like, I'm just like, nope, I will not compromise. And the other day, actually, I was on Instagram and Little Nas had posted a picture of his bedroom. I'm gonna let everyone know, if you follow Little Nas, do not search out this post. Some nasty people posted some really inappropriate things that left me shooketh. But so, you know, he posted his bedroom, which was like this big massive room with like a pool or whatever, like flexing, which, you know, I don't blame him. Like, if I lived the lifestyle he lived, I want everyone else to know I lived that lifestyle too, so like, good for him. And someone else had posted a picture of their bedroom. Well, it wasn't their bedroom, it was like their kitchen. It was like, it had like a stove, a kitchen sink, a little bit of counter space, and then the toilet and the bathtub all in this tiny space. And I was so like, what? Who? And you know, that kind of gave me some inspiration for maybe some future like really tiny living spaces. That was an apartment though, so like maybe I could do that in one of the apartments in my San Chuno, but we'll see. Probably not. But like that like threw me off. I was like, wait, like people actually, like, not to be like people actually live this way, but I was like just a little shocked that like people have built homes like that, which I mean, like, you know, which I don't think they're built in the sake of sustainability. I'm pretty sure that apartment was probably built with the intention of just getting a lot of money out of poor people and abusing their situation. But that's also like the very angry, like, socialist in me who's like, this wasn't built for sustainability, this was built to abuse the poor, which, you know, who knows, I could be completely wrong. That could be like some kind of sustainability, like housing initiative or something, who knows. But it did inspire me for the next time I do a tiny home to really dedicate to breaking down the ideas of space and how room and space are used, because in some ways it is a very kind of like super capitalist, super consumerist way of being like, look, each room has its own purpose and that only, you know? So as you see here, oh, I did put down a single bed. I had tried to fit a double bed, and once again I was still really being like, nope, I need my designated, you know, bathroom, bedroom kind of layout. And part of the reason for that was I'm pretty sure I could have gotten away with not doing that, but it felt like for the sake of kind of like this Victorian kind of more traditional, very, you know, very rich kind of feel, it made sense that it would have its own separate rooms, especially since Victorians generally are very known for being very like maze-like on the inside, having lots of weird rooms, like rooms upon rooms upon rooms. The living room I made is like pretty small. Like up here ends up being like this living room Activia kind of space, and I ended up also shoving a fireplace in, and the reason for that was it just didn't make sense that like a 19th century home wouldn't have a fireplace, because, you know, in the 19th century, how else are you going to keep yourself warm? And in a small home like this, I was like, okay, they probably, like, you know, preferably would have had more than one, but like I was like, I can get away with just putting one in, because, you know, this is how we roll in The Sims 4. We make compromises that they would have not made in real life. And there's like plenty of places I could have put a fireplace and made it work. I ended up putting it on the second floor only, which I don't know how realistic that is. I've seen homes that have only had the fireplace on one floor, and I've always wondered, I'm like, what is the, like, how practical is that, you know? So, as you see here, I shove it between these windows. It's a very tight squeeze, but, you know, we do what we do. I think it looks kind of cute. Once again, I'm wondering how safe that is. Like I've said, I've seen homes that are like that, where they'll have like a fireplace on the second floor, and I've always been kind of like, what happens if that, like, you know, like collapses or something? I don't know, but like I guess that's like a danger in all homes. Like what happens if you're like if it just falls off? Maybe that's just an issue of where I live. Where I grew up, there's a lot of homes that had not like, they had like either fireplaces that had been closed off or were just made for decoration, or, you know, were fake decorative items to the home, which like sounds like you're like, wait, why would someone do that? I don't know, to make it look more homey. I couldn't tell you. Could not tell you why people do that. But in a lot of where I live, a lot of, especially in like little part of town I lived in that had a lot of these, it was not uncommon to have to take the fireplaces, remove them, take them down, because they were like a threat to collapse. So anyways, we're going to be wrapping up soon here on the speed build and the build. I'm just putting some last touches on. One thing I have been doing in all of my builds is I've been putting in laundry day as well, which I don't remember if I put in this video clip or not, but it's definitely on the gallery. And when my save file does get completed, if people still want that, if I ever do complete my save file, which we will see, I definitely am, every build does have some form of way to do laundry, whether it's, like in this lot that's going to have, as you'll see, kind of like the the clothesline and like the bucket that you wash your clothes in, you know, very sustainable, very eco-friendly. Or some other homes definitely have like in-home laundry units and whatnot. I've always been wondering if there's any way to like make like a laundromat in The Sims 4. I was thinking you could probably do it in a park, but I don't know if people would wash their clothes or something. So that's one thing I've been thinking about. I've been trying to maybe think about searching, see if anyone else has done it and how they did it, but I don't know. I just don't see the point in building it and wasting the space if no one's going to use it. But anyways, I'm going to be wrapping up soon. Make sure to download this off the gallery if you like it. Go check out Harry's channel. I'm going to also link the video where she made her own Gatehouse as well. You might like hers more and want to download hers. Will not be offended. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out some of my other content. If you're interested, please subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.